today we're going to be making another map for Anime Race Clicker Simulator 2. I don't know if the word simulator was actually in the title or not, but yeah. So guys, if you're unfamiliar, there is a somewhat popular game that I have built pretty much every single map for, and so far, we've been pretty on top of it. In the last video we did building these, we made this little castle map over here for the clan updates. Pretty sick if I do say so myself. And in this video, we need to do one for an anime called Black Clover. Now, I have no idea anything about this anime, but there's one picture that I have been sent that it needs to resemble. So I've kind of copy and pasted a little bit of stuff and recolored some stuff to get a good base down, but here's the picture. He said the most important thing is this skull, which I'm not too excited about making, but if I can figure it out, I will. And it looks like it's just going to be a farm-styled zone with ruins and hills. So grass, trees, ruins, farm plots, and this big skull. And if you look at this, we already have our hills slash mountain things. I'm thinking the big skull can go up here when it's done. We can add in trees, make farm plots pretty easily. So let's just get started. One more thing, if you guys are not familiar, every map on this is auto-generated. So let me just drag everything over to make sure we are not building where anything spawns at. These will go about here, it looks like. So we'll keep those placed just to make sure we don't build anything around them. Let's back these mountains up a little bit so we're not cutting into anything. I think something like this works so far, and it really doesn't leave us too much space to actually be able to build stuff. But we could definitely figure something out. So first things first, if this is a farm map, we should have those dirt piles and dirt hills. There's also one more thing that gets generated in, and that is the bank build. So I need to go find that and make sure we have it placed, just so once again we don't make anything on top of it. All right, now with all of the main points of interest placed, we can start making this zone actually stand out from the rest. And to do that, the first thing we need to do is hop into Blender. I'm gonna make the little mound thing that crops would be on, so we can kind of copy and paste that into a mound formation. And I'm also gonna make some rubble type builds, like corners, straights, everything like that, so we can place those around. All right, guys, so here is my rubble walls. We have this one, and then we have a bit of a corner one. I've seen both of them in that picture that I'm supposed to use as reference, so I think we're gonna be good to go there. And then here will be our crop rows. I've made one that has 3 and one that has 1, just so we have a little bit of variation as well. Let's get these into Studio. Bro, I don't know why Roblox is like, hey, let's open everything as big as we possibly can. I'm not the biggest fan of that. All right, now that we've got everything in the game, let's go ahead and drop some colors on everything. We're gonna go brown, and then we're gonna darken that up a little bit for our crop things. Now this, I did make each of these into 2 meshes, simply so we can vary the color a little bit. So let's go pretty dark, and then if we grab a random one inside of each, we could go to a lighter color. That might be a little too crazy of a difference, so let's darken that up a little bit. Something like this, and now we have some variation with the colors, not only the shape of the rocks. So I have to place these, I think. Oh my gosh, tell me this isn't gonna be perfect. Bring this up a little bit in size. And of course we can't do one on the other side, but that's perfect because now we can have the one that looks a little bit different. We'll bring it up in size as well. And we're gonna go 1 on this side and then 1 on this side. And we'll fill in the rest of this with some sort of parts or color or something. These can also be randomly placed throughout just to give the build quite a bit more variation. We're gonna put 1 over there. And I think I'm gonna put 1 behind where the enchant thing spawns, just to make it feel like it really does belong on this map. And now I could just go slightly insane with how I'm placing the rest of these. We'll put 1 here, we can put 1 over here, and let's place some up top as well. Definitely could have 1 next to the race, give that a nice angle, and we can have 1 back here as well. Looking decent so far. Now, for this part, I want to do probably a dirt hill, so I'm just gonna grab a wedge, stretch that across. I don't overly think it makes sense to do steps since there's nothing about steps on this build. And I'm going to copy the brown from earlier just so everything stays nice and cohesive. This is all already coming together, but there's a lot to do. Luckily, we already have trees made and bushes. And we have these that we can also place around within this map. We're going to make them a bit longer, a bit bigger, and we'll put some back here and shrink these down to easily follow sort of the layout of the map that we're creating. We'll do one more and then shrink it down as well, like this. And we can have some of those sort of everywhere. Let's put one back here and one up here as well. Now I'm going to add in some trees. I'm definitely going to figure out how to make this look a little cleaner and a dirt path. All right, guys, it is a new day and the client got back to me. They thought exactly what I did. It feels too much like the previous zones. There's not enough to really make it stick out, but it was very hard since I haven't seen this anime. However, they asked their community and everybody got back to me, and now we have some ideas to really make this map stand out quite a bit. Also, they're letting me use the skull from the first anime race one. I told them, I said, you can even pay me less. I genuinely just don't think I can model this skull. And that could be me doubting myself, or it could just be me being honest with myself. And here it is. I'm kind of surprised. I thought it was just a skull, not an entire So I'm not sure exactly what I'll do here. One of them did say, try to make it big enough to where the boss is inside of it, and maybe you could hatch from inside of it as well. So that means this has to be pretty massive. How do I want to do that? I think, obviously, we'll just make it really big at first. And then we'll see how we can make it kind of fit inside. So if they want the boss inside of it, we can put the boss inside of the rib cage, sort of like this. We're gonna have to rebuild the inside for sure. So let's delete these. We will delete this grass hill or drag it down some. This guy can act like a tree and leaf. Okay, I'll stop. And then we're gonna use these terrains even more. And I think I'm gonna turn all of them gray. Sort of like an inside of a cave or something. Ooh, this kind of brownish rust color. I guess it's copper if we want to be exact. Looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And then if we grab these, we can also go to a dark color like so. That is not too bad. Now we're going to duplicate all of this, move those back, over, and up, just so it takes up a bit more space. I'm going to rotate that a little bit, and this should start filling this whole area in. That is not bad. Now we're going to grab completely random ones, and we're just going to color shift those down a little bit, which adds that really nice variation. Now the boss is inside of the skull guy, which making it this big definitely, it brought down the quality of it, I will say, but it'll work for now. The skull is its own thing? Oh, tell me some of this other stuff is its own thing. Oh, okay, guys, we're actually going to be able to work with this thing a little bit, and I didn't expect us to be able to. So the handle itself is this whole thing, which I don't think we're overly going to be able to do too much with. So we'll drag it down. The spikes seem to just be cones. So I wish those were shade smooth auto smooth, but they're not. But we could definitely do something with them just to make it feel like the skull isn't just placed here for no reason. We'll do something like that. And then they wanted the church built down here. So let's delete all of the stuff that we have over here. We can put it back later if need be, even the farm stuff. And now let's give this a path so the church isn't just in the middle of nowhere. And we'll build the church. It looks like it's sort of a longer rectangular building, so we're gonna build it on this pad. And then on this side, they wanted the farm. So let's keep some rubbles. Oh, this is already looking a lot better. Yes, just like this, we can keep a farm over on this side. Mr. Rock and Bush, you could go over there. Let me think how to make this side look more farm-like. Then I gotta build this church. And then this one should be at least a little bit closer to done. All right, I got the skull added in. I added in some more decoration here. with some plants, some little other plants, and then the church build that they wanted me to do. Overall, it's definitely looking a lot better than it was. I'm gonna send it over to them now and see if they have any more ideas on what I could add. All right, they got back to me, and all they wanted added was a Colosseum type gate entrance. So we did that real quick. We also took out everything else that gets auto-generated on these maps. So if it seems a little bit empty, that's why. And then we added this sword, which is one from the anime. Once again, I've never watched it, so I don't know too much about it. I also had my mic 20 feet away, so I don't know if you guys even heard me, but you know. This build is now done. If you guys enjoyed the video and want to check out the build in-game, the game link will be down below. Not sure if the update will be out by the time this video is or not, but even if it's not, the game's pretty cool. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Later.